What's good, everybody? And we are live. What's happening? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast. Your name, DL Saint, man. Doing the early show. Still trying to figure this out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the two shows a day and be on time. So, because still got stuff to do. Even though I was off this week,
Mhm.
my little girl's out of school this week, but it's gonna be difficult. So I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to like I think I'm just gonna like I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna do something. I don't know. This week, you know what I mean? Like even tomorrow, like we'll do an early show tomorrow, and then I gotta figure it out, man. But I definitely want to catch people earlier in the day. Um, but the 6 o'clock time really works for me. It's in the sweet spot of I've already done things for the day, and normally my daughter's home and get that sorted out. But noon, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do noon every day. Maybe I'll do it like every Wednesday at noon or something like that. We'll figure it out though. But for now, man, as you can see, like no thumbnail, like 17 minutes late. Like it's like I hate being late, so it's gonna be hard for me to commit to that noon time during the day, especially as we move forward, get past the holidays and stuff like that. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out. I hope y'all are good. Happy Hump Day. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. For those people who yeah, the serious eaters out there who can't wait for tomorrow. Shout out. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, and I was sitting here too. Another thing with doing two shows a day is actually coming up with stuff, bro. Like it's like, ooh, what am I gonna talk about? There's so many things I wanted to talk about. I saw a video last night. I almost went live real late. In Miami, in the Wynwood area in Miami, months ago, there was an incident where a woman who was a struggling rap artist, upcoming rap artist or something like that, got into an altercation with her manager. Friend, it was her, the manager, and another guy. So it was basically like two guys. It was her. They were all in the same vehicle. They got out the vehicle. Um, the rapper and the manager start arguing, and it got physical. And then another guy gets out the car, and the two guys put the woman on the ground, like just kind of keep her on the ground, trying to get her to chill out, calm down, or whatever. Another guy walks up because they were next to like a park or something in Wynwood. So Wynwood, if you've never been to Miami, the Wynwood area, it's being gentrified. So Wynwood used to be the hood, like real hood, and now money came in. So it's kind of always that balance, you know what I mean, between these two worlds. So some young guy walks up, and security guard, he can see what's going on. He's probably saying whatever he's saying. There's no audio to this. I'm gonna link the video in the description if you guys want to see the video. And the woman gets up, the guy gets up, the two dudes are just kind of sitting there talking. The woman walks away, and you can see her reaching in her purse, and she comes back and she pulls her weapon and she deletes the manager guy. The other guy jumps in the vehicle, whips the vehicle around, runs her over. Literally, you can see her get run over by the car, and then a guy drives off, and then she gets up and then she walks away. Um, she was, of course, apprehended by the police. She was charged with the crime. She was sent home. She got bail, was sent home. They used the term house arrest, but I don't think she's gone to trial yet. I don't know what's going on with that case. Maybe I'll have to look into that and see what's going on with that case. Um, but the hyper violence, bro. Like again, YouTube is a universe where all these bubbles are coming together that wouldn't normally come together. And to see it, like it's on a news YouTube channel, like one of the affiliates, the NBC affiliate in South Florida. It's on their YouTube channel. They blurred out the portions when the guy was actually getting hit by the rounds, but she fired at him. He like jumped out the way, ducked, was under a vehicle, was trying to crawl away. She walked up on him and finished him. So it's like, whoa, whoa. So I was gonna talk about that. And then I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't know. I kind of looked into it a little bit more. And then, I was able to find out that this happened months ago and the videos are just being posted. Maybe she did get charged and convicted, and maybe she copped to something. Cause I don't know. I was gonna make a case for, like, is that a case for stand your ground? All sorts of stuff I was gonna talk about, but then I was like, man, it's kind of heavy. I don't know if I want to talk about it. But we probably will circle back to it. I don't know. I'm gonna link it in the description below. But So coming up with content to talk about on the early shows, and then also having to do content on the late shows, and we're not to the point where we're bringing people in to interview in like in real life live, but we are doing interviews on StreamYard. So we're gonna figure it out, guys. We're gonna figure it out. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Lady Navoa in the building. What's good, sis? How you doing? Good to see you. Let me show you the respect that you deserve. You know what I mean? We definitely won't forget the homies. Thank you for always being there. Appreciate you, sis. You know what I mean? But that thing with this young woman, matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I'm just gonna pull it up. Here's the link to the video. I'm gonna put it in the chat if you guys want to go look at it. The link that I'm posting is 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And this is security footage. This is the footage from a security camera that saw the whole thing. So if you want to watch it, it's right there. If you want to click on that link and check it out, YouTube will definitely not like it if I post it. It is real violent. They do blur out when she actually hits the guy, but you can see everything else. You can see her clearly get run over by the car. You can see her, actually fighting with the guy, and she lost the fight, of course. And then it was like the other guy got out the car, and you can see that. And I mean, it's just one of those things like, well, what were they arguing over? What was the issue? It really doesn't matter, does it? Because it ended in the way it ended. Like she deleted dude, and more than likely she's gonna have to do some real time. You know what I mean? You got this felony murder on your record. I mean, it just changes your life. It changes the lives of everyone else. I mean, he had people, I'm sure, that loved him. You got this other guy who was involved. Like, is he cool with it, or is he looking for her? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's so much involved with that, man. Like this hyper violent stuff, bro. That's how we get down in America, though, man. It is what it is. But they were probably arguing over money or over contract stuff or over who knows what they were talking about. But just crazy. But anyway, it's there in the description. It's right there in the chat. I'll also put it in the description when this show is over for those who want to see. And there's also another video out there, the actual news report from the local affiliate. I'll find that and put that in there as well. But I thought that was too heavy. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to talk about that. I didn't want to talk about it last night. I was like, man, I think this is too heavy. And I'm not gonna really delve into it today, but I did want to drop it in the chat so y'all can see it. It's man, it's wild. It's wild what we're doing these days. But when I think about it, it's always been the case. It's just we have more cameras. So there are more opportunities to actually see these crimes while they're being committed because we have so many cameras. Everyone has a camera in their hand or in their pocket. There are cameras on every corner, ring cams on almost every door. So when something goes down, there's film. Like normally, back in the day when I came up, when something went down, it was word of mouth. People who were there had to tell you about it. But now it's all on camera. So keep that in mind if y'all on the street show. The streets is really watching now. You know what I mean? It ain't no like I'm just gonna do this and get away with it. Nah, the streets are really watching. So craziness. But let's talk about Matt Rife. Matt Rife is a comedian. We've talked about him on this platform before. He This is an article from the USA Today. This was published today at 8:56 a.m. And I guess that's Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. It says ET, so yeah, Eastern Time. And Matt Rife is a young comedian who gained prominence through social media. Through I believe it was TikTok. I believe it was TikTok, and then Instagram. Shorts on Instagram. And this kid is like a real comedian. This is a guy who came up and got into the comedy game at a young age and was really out there doing it. Like getting time wherever he could, doing the open mics, moving around the country to do what he had to do. I mean, it's crazy what he had to do to get where he is. A lot of people are calling him like a TikTok comedian, and they're saying all this other stuff. No, he's the real deal. Like the guy was out there in the trenches doing what you have to do as a comedian. Y'all know I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been in part of that world for the better part of 17 years now. I think 15 to 17 years, depends on what date I use as my first start. But being a comedian is hard. He's dedicated his young life to it. Social media helped propel him to the top, and he's up there at the top now. If you're gonna gauge it by, you know, popularity, if you're gonna gauge it by clout, if you're gonna gauge it by income and revenue, generating net revenue, he has a world tour, which is actually sold out. Like last time I checked, you can't get a ticket to one of his concerts. I mean, he's mega. Now, the thing about Matt Rife from a technical standpoint as a comedian, like he is heavy on the crowd work stuff. So what's the crowd work? Crowd work is when you're just riffing. So you're on stage, just walking around, you're just telling stories and you're talking to people and you're mixing the two. I haven't watched his Netflix special yet, but I will watch it. But I mean, I've seen enough of his content to know that he is basically a crowd work kind of comedian. That's Some comedians choose that. Some people are just really good, you know what I mean? But in his case, he's very handsome. Women have latched on to him. The gay community have latched on to him. They love this guy and shot him to the top. Isn't it funny how if women love you in whatever genre, they will shoot you to the top? That being said, what's up with the WNBA? Yeah, someone had to say it. Bill Burr said it a long time ago. It's like the WNBA failed because of women. Like women is the reason they failed. Brother D, what's good, fam? How you feeling? It's like, what up, DL? Excited about this topic as Mike Rife's new Netflix special is hilarious. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, brother. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it. You know, and you know, comedy's in the eye of the beholder. But I'm glad you brought up that Netflix special. On this Netflix special, apparently his opening joke people didn't like. So let's get into it. Let's check this out. So Matt Rife responds to domestic violence backlash from Netflix special with disability joke. So what they're talking about is he made a joke about domestic violence. People got all mad and was sending him a bunch of stuff. So his response, his apology on social media, which this was hilarious. That I thought that was funny. People got mad because he made this joke about domestic violence. His response to their outrage was a link to a website that makes those helmets that help people with special needs. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, so he's basically telling them, go buy you a helmet. I thought that was classic, hilarious. And of course, people hated that, bro. They hated that. So let's get into it. Comedian Matt Rife's response to a controversial joke in his debut Netflix special, Natural Selection, has only led to more criticism. In a stand-up special, which was recorded November 15th, Rife opened with a joke about domestic violence to test if the crowd would be fun or not, right? So, and here's the thing, that's normal. When you do crowd work, what you're doing is gauging the crowd. Normally, like when I use crowd work, right? If I walk out on stage and I'm in Utah, or if I'm in California or New York or Texas, I'm not quite sure what the crowd is on, right? So I'm going to have to gauge the crowd. Now, I have routines and I have closing bits that I know work anywhere. They're pretty much universal. But before we get into the routine, I want to know what jokes I'm going to have to do early on. So what's the best way to gauge that? Well, let's do a little bit of crowd work, kind of see what's up. You listen, you pay attention to the comics who've gone on before you, and then you kind of probe the crowd with your crowd work to see where they are, loosen them up. So that makes sense to me. So, and he goes in, I guess he decided, because he's younger and bold, it's like, I'm going to go in with a domestic violence joke so I can see where they are. I'm like, okay. And again, I haven't seen the special. I'm going to watch the special tonight. And he wanted to see if the crowd was fun or not. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you be fun if you're talking about domestic violence? Well, if you're a good comedian, you can make anything funny. Rife, 28, was met with criticism and posted a fake apology on his Instagram story on Monday. If you've ever been offended by a joke I've told, here's a link to my official apology. He wrote alongside a link that led to a website selling special needs helmets. I thought, again, brilliant. That's brilliant. I gotta get at to him, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. We're talking about comedy. For him to do that, this kid's got promise. This kid's got promise. And then people immediately get mad at him. At Matt Rife, people with disabilities aren't your punchline. Um, After making a misogynist domestic violence joke, that's DV. Be funny without being a gross human, or you're just not funny, one social media wrote in a response. So, you know, that person didn't like, what he said about domestic violence, and then he really didn't like the the inference he's making. Like, well, you got a problem with it, get yourself a helmet. I think is brilliant. Another added, people defending Matt Rife are crazy. Like, yes, comedy's supposed to be raunchy, it's supposed to push limits, but if you can't be funny without talking about beating women or saying your critics need gear used to protect people with disabilities, you're just not funny. You know what I mean? You're just not funny. Like, so here's the thing. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. You know what I mean? Matt Rice's Baltimore joke from Netflix sparks backlash, and Rife Special, the comedian told a story about visiting a ratchet restaurant in Baltimore with his friends and noticing his server had a black eye. I believe it was the hostess, not the server, it was the hostess, I think, but I haven't seen it. I just heard people talking about it. But anyway, there was a woman there with a black eye, and he was in a bad part of town in Baltimore. It's like it was ratchet, right? Yeah, that's pretty wild. As the story goes, the duo wonder why the establishment wouldn't keep the server in the kitchen to avoid customers seeing her injury. Yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye, he quipped, right? So that was the punchline of the joke. Like, yeah, man, shouldn't they put her in the back, put her in the kitchen? Like, well, she can cook, she probably wouldn't have the black eye. Now, on his own, sitting in my attic, you might think, or driving in your car or wherever you are, like, wow, that's pretty harsh. On stage at a comedy event, depending on what was said before, what was said after, and how the crowd reacted. Again, remember, he wanted to see what type of crowd this was. There are people out there who appreciate this type of comedy. They appreciate real dark humor. There are people out there who want this fluffy stuff, right? You got to figure out how many people are there for the real and how many people are there for the fluffy, right? And you got to look at someone like Matt Rife. There are a lot of women out there who they rock with him because he's a handsome dude. They got a crush on him, this and that. They could care less what he was saying on stage, and they don't care about his talent. They just want to see a cute dude on stage. It's no different than the simpleton guys out there who be going after the Instagram models, or who be simping for Pokemon or Pokimane, I guess that's how you pronouncing it. Pokimane, which is a Twitch streamer, or you name your female Instagrammer, successful female Instagram. I mean, Melanie King used to do shoot your shot segments on her platform, and it was dudes lining up. It was so many dudes you couldn't even get into the back chat. You couldn't get on the screen. It was so many dudes lining up to try to, profess their love for Melanie King and how she should, go to France with them and all this. It was it was hilarious. And I know people like, well, come on, Unc, you said you was trying to get on there. Yeah, I was trying to get on there. I got on there and actually won her respect. Like, we would talk, and I wasn't there trying to shoot my shot. We had really good conversations and got some good content. And then one day I was like, hey, my buddy said I gotta shoot my shot at you, man. I gotta give you my lines. Are you ready, girl? You ready? And she was like, yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead. She was playing with her hair, sitting back. She was ready. And y'all know what Uncle Saint did. I hit this button. Holla, 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 holla. And she started laughing, and she yelled at me, and she's like, quit playing on my phone. And she kicked me out. She's like, I'm kicking you out. And she was like, I love you, DL. No, she's like, I like you, DL. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, bro. But the point being, there are people out there, female and male, that for whatever reason have crushes on women or whatever it is, or men or whatever, like Matt Rife. All these women are crazy about him, to the point where he is a worldwide phenomenon at this point. He goes on to Netflix and he does an opening joke while doing crowd work about, it's like a domestic violence joke, and people get upset to the point where they want to cancel him, but they can't because he's too cute. Women won't cancel him because they simping for him. He's too cute. All right, so it continues. I figured if we start the show with the domestic violence, the rest of the show should be smooth sailing, right? So that's what he followed up. So he had the punchline, and then he follows it up with this. I'm gonna have to watch the show to see how it flowed. The comedian is best known for sharing his crowd work at comedy shows on TikTok. He has also built up popularity with women over his appearance, as he noted in a story with Vogue, wow, and a recent review from the New York Times, which described him as hunky. Wow, wow. Vogue, New York Times, World Tour. Women put him on. Women put him on. Ladies, quit crying about the WNBA not making as much money as the NBA if y'all ain't gonna watch them. That's all I got to say about that, man. Start watching the WNBA, and those ladies who play for the WNBA can start getting the contracts that the NBA guys are getting, right? That's all it takes. They need you, ladies, the WNBA needs you, right? They need y'all to watch their games because I'm not watching it, right? And most people aren't watching it. I don't even know if there's a WNBA team in Florida. It could be. I don't know. And guess what? Most Floridians don't know either. So several fans spoke out about his joke, pointing out that it added extra insult because Rife's fan base has been mostly women. And he's a comedian. Like I said, he could say anything he wants and they ain't going nowhere, right? He's not just a comedian. He's like an alpha Chad on stage telling jokes. The way women the way women catapulted Matt Rife into popularity, and the second he gets a comedy special on Netflix, he immediately betrays them with a joke about domestic violence. Crazy, isn't it? One social media user commented. How is it a betrayal? He's a comedian. He's trying edgy stuff, right? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I talk about slavery when I was coming up as a comedian. One of my jokes, one of my bits was one of the bits is the name of the bit is Runaway Slave. You know what I mean? So it's a sex bit. It's about playing sex games, voyeurism. Shout out to Diddy, brother love. You know what I mean? It's one of them kind of jokes. I mean, bro, I've said all sorts of things. Some things you say that work, you keep, and the things that don't work, you get rid of. But the problem is so many eyes are on Matt Rife. You know, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said this. So another wrote, Matt Rife canceling himself by trying to appeal to men is hilarious to me. He built a solid fan base and was loved by women, but because he just had to have approval of the male gaze, he switched up, alienating and pissing off the base that made him popular in the first place. That's complete BS right there. He's not trying to appeal to anyone. He's just doing his routine. He doesn't control who watches him. As an artist, you don't control who consumes your content. As an artist, you draw a painting or something. You don't control who's gonna come and love your painting or hate your painting or whatever. You just put your art out there and you let the chips fall where they may. Matt Rife could care less about dudes who watch him or don't watch him. Most of the dudes probably hating on the guy because they're forced to watch him because that's the comic that their girlfriend or the woman they're pursuing wants. So they want to go see him. So now you got women like, take me to see Matt Rife. Not just take me to see comedy, take me to see Matt Rife. Right. And these dudes are just mad and they know. Like, I mean, there's videos out there. He's doing his crowd work. He'll see a woman start talking to her and she'll be talking. And he doesn't care about the dude or this woman's situation. But the woman sitting there talking like, yeah, this guy next to me, oh, he's just a friend. He don't count. I really, I banged 15 dudes yesterday. 3 of them were his buddies or whatever. They'll say all kind of crazy stuff. And the guy just be sitting there looking stupid, stuck on stupid. He paid for dinner. He paid for the tickets to the comedy show. He's running a tab while she's sitting there drinking his alcohol as she's saying, this guy's nothing to me. He's just a friend, whatever. Don't worry about him. What's up with you, Matt Rife? Can I come backstage tonight? And the guy realizes that if this dude on stage wants this woman, he has her. So then, there's going to be a little bit of hate there. But from the dudes who are real players, they're going to be like, all right, I get it. I see the game. So, yeah, man. Like, Matt Rife is not trying to, appeal to men. That's just not a smart statement. Matt Rife says his comedy special is way more for guys than women. I think dude's just doing his show and like I said, letting the chips fall where they may. In an interview with Variety published November 14th, Matt says he gets ridiculed online over misconceptions that his fan base is female dominated because of his popularity on TikTok. Right, Matt Rife, and that's all they say about that. Matt Rife, Natural Selection, release date, trailer, what we know about the special. So that they're gonna talk about this now. Again, Matt Rife came up as a white comedian in the black rooms. So anybody who doesn't know about Matt Rife, he didn't come up as a mainstream comic or whatever. He went as a white kid. He went in and did the black rooms. He came up under black comics. So he's gonna do his material no matter what. He could care less about the gender and the race. He's just gonna do what he does. He is really good at his crowd work stuff. His crowd work is really good. His material, I don't know. Like his materials, it all streams from the crowd work. So, like how great is his material? I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch his show. Um, I've tried to watch some of his content, a lot of his content, but the crowd work stuff, it's like, all right, it's crowd work. I want to see bits. And I haven't really seen any bits yet. I'm sure they're out there. Maybe he just hasn't posted them. Maybe he doesn't post those bits, but you know, in your comedic career, as you evolve, you will begin to create some bits that where people will kind of know you by or whatever. Like when you break through that threshold, is a great feeling. John Caparella was known for the pine cone bit, which is hilarious. I doubt if he still does it, but it was just so funny. Sam Tripoli was magical drunk chick, hilarious bit. Um, you know, um, Brett Ernst had a bit when he was talking about, F Tony. That was a fun one. Sebastian Maniscalco, probably one of the premier comics out there today, he had a bit where he was talking about where's Damo early on. And again, the people I name have tons of bits that I can name that they're known for. I don't know of any Matt Rife's material. I didn't see the guy, I didn't work with the guy when I was in LA. That was towards, I was traveling a lot back then with FAA doing stuff. So I didn't get a chance to meet the guy. I know a lot of people who have worked with him and know him, but I don't personally know him. So it is what it is. This guy came up, with black comics, bro. He could care less about all that. Um, and then Matt Rife continues, when you come to the shows, I mean, it's 50-50. It's couples coming out. It's groups of dudes who are coming. And that's one thing that I wanted to tackle in this special, was showing people that, like, despite what you think about me online, I don't pander my career to women. He said, I would agree this special is way more for guys. So that's what he was trying to do with this Netflix special. He's basically saying, all right, he's listening to the criticism. He gets it. Here's the thing about other comics. Other comics are brutal, man. Comics are like little kids, man. They'll tell you exactly what's on their mind. They could care less about being PC. So you got a lot of comics out there. His dudes are probably saying, yeah, man, like, good thing you're a handsome fella, because these women are going crazy. Just, being handsome has made him extremely successful. A lot of clout, a lot of money. So, and then of course, Netflix is going to give you a deal no matter what. If you are out there pushing it, people are hollering at you, Netflix is going to give you a deal no matter what, bro. So, um, yeah, so he's saying, he says it's 50-50. It's like couples are coming out, but I know he realizes that the women are dragging the men to come to his show. Maybe he's listening to the criticism from other comics, and the comics are like, yeah, bro, you romancing the stone, bro. You got these girls in love with you. You can do no wrong. It's not really about how strong your material is, but look at all the Google wives out there. You got all these young women, old women, gay dudes, all these people out here trying to look at you and, whatever, support you because, you're a pretty boy. And he might like, no, man, all right, I'm gonna do this Netflix special. And I'm gonna show you I can rock out, period. You know what I mean? So looks like that was on his mind. So it looks like I might have been wrong when I was saying what I was saying, but like, the dude he'll do his material and rock out any crowd. I don't think he's worried about women versus, again, he can't control who likes him and who comes to his shit. Rife added that he believes his comedy special is for everyone. So he added that. He's like, yeah, my special is for everybody. I think if people would just give it a chance without going into it and being like, oh, only girls like him, or people only like his face. If you give it an opportunity, I think you'd like it, he said. Yeah. And then people definitely didn't like the domestic violence stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was an hour, and all I've heard is about the stand up, the crowd work he did about the woman having a black eye, and then his response to the people who criticized the joke. I haven't heard anything else about the rest of the set. Like, he probably did like an hour. I'm gonna watch it tonight. In another interview on an episode of the BFF pod, um, he said he's incredibly grateful for women. Yeah, I bet he is. Without women, I would have never gained the momentum I did on social media, and I'm so grateful for that. but I'm doing that. A lot of dudes didn't like that. Oh, he said, but in doing that, a lot of dudes didn't like that. Uh, I feel like my comedy is more for guys than women. So that's where they got that statement from. It was from a podcast when he was saying that. And he's talking about his overall comedy is more for dudes than women. Um, that may or may not be true. I haven't watched this material. Right, I'm gonna have to watch the material and see what's going on. And that was the end of the interview. And of course, at the end, they give you a link to the domestic violence hotline. Yeah, if you're having problems like that, domestic violence, please use that number, dudes. Make sure y'all use that domestic violence hotline because we know there are women out there swinging on dudes, swinging on them in the house, and the guys are like, "I can't beat her up. If I beat her up, I'm going to jail. What do I do?" And you got that whole Lionel Richie thing. So, hey, man, I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this Netflix special. Um, I don't believe that he sits there and writes jokes for women. I think he's just out there. He's a handsome fella, and like it is what it is. He's a handsome fella. Women gravitate towards him, and that's that. And it's made him a multimillionaire. Let's just keep it 100. It's made him a multimillionaire, and good for him. But he's definitely a comedian, and he's not some TikToker who did something on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever social media platform, and that thing got him a million subscribers. And then Netflix said, "Hey, why don't you come do a comedy show?" Because they've done that in the past, and it just never works. You know, being funny on social media or editing stuff or doing all that kind of stuff and being a stand-up comedian are two completely different things. It just is. And I'll end with this because people ask me all the time, do you have to be funny to be successful in stand up to make money? Nah, you don't have to be funny to make money. There are tons of people out there like Amy Schumer is not funny. There's that other one out there. I can't remember her name. Dave Chappelle called her out. She's not funny. There are people out there like Brett Kresner. Like he's out there making millions of dollars. I don't particularly think he's that funny. I really don't. I mean, he has a great stage presence. So if you bring something that the masses want, right? Kreshner takes his shirt off and just drinks and acts a fool, right? But it makes him money. Like he can sell out arenas by doing that and have other people with him. Brandon Schwab should have stuck to MMA or coaching or something. Should not, he's not funny, but he's very successful. So you don't have to be funny. Like you don't have to have Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr caliber skills as a comedian, and that's going to guarantee you success. There are people out there who are absolutely hilarious, will leave you in stitches, clean comedy. They don't tell raunchy jokes. They don't use curse words. They do that, and they're out there making about $150,000 a year as role comics. They're really good at what they do. You've never heard of them, and they're happy with that because they're living a life. They're living a decent life, a better than decent life. They're making six figures plus, doing what they love to do. That's success. But people think of success like, oh, selling out arenas, making millions and millions of dollars, like Steve Martin, and uh, like what's another big name out there? Andrew Dice Clay or something like that, like just kind of legendary success. Nah, you don't have to have talent to you have a really good manager, really good agent, and get the right gigs, and then get on somebody's TV show, and then wind up getting on a movie or two and be extremely successful. Right? It doesn't, Maz Jobrani. You've seen him a million times in movies and TV shows and stuff like that. He's an amazing actor, but he is a very, 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 very funny comedian, stand-up comedian. He's the man. Shout out to Mozzie. What's up, Moz? Hope you're doing well. He is hilarious, but the vast majority of his money comes from being an actor, acting in movies, acting in TV shows and stuff like that. So if it were just based on his talent as a comedian, he would, in my opinion, be top 100, easily, probably top 50, and you would think like, all right, you should get paid accordingly, but it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Brother D was like, you should do a show on underrated comedians. I personally like Tony Robbins. Yeah, I mean, I could. There's so many of them out there, bro. There's so many of them out there. And then maybe I'll think about that because I'm not even sure what comedians I would consider underrated. I know. I take that back. I do have a list. I have a personal list, but you probably never heard of them. I think one of the most underrated comics I've ever known, I've ever seen, ever worked with, Sam Tripoli. Like Sam Tripoli is an absolute beast. And I knew him when he was like at his peak, really like just killing it. And man, no one knows him. I'm like, bro, that dude. I mean, I've never seen people literally falling out of their seats laughing. Like when they went to see Sam Tripoli, you would see that all the time. People crying, like people can't unable to do their work. We'll be in a bar. I had the managers like just holding on to me, crying. They couldn't stop laughing. The people would stop serving food because they couldn't focus. They were so busy laughing and listening to Sam. Sam, yeah, you know what? I think I will do that, man. I think I will come up with a list of underrated comics, see if I can get some of their material and like talk about it. That would be a pretty good show, man. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. That's for you, man. So that's it. That's all I got for today, man. I'm gonna make this one quick. I got some stuff I gotta do outside. I gotta run some errands. It's about to start raining. It's about to get ugly. Um, but that was yeah, man, Matt Rife. Yeah, and before I go outside, I gotta make a thumbnail because I was running late. I didn't do the thumbnail first. I'm gonna do the thumbnail now. But yeah, man, I don't think that you should cancel comedians. If you go to a comedy show, if you watch a comedian, you don't like what they're doing. If you don't like it, don't clap. If you really don't like what they're doing, boo. Like if you find what they're doing horrendous, get up and walk out. That's it. Walk out. Don't ever go back. Because in that game, if you're a comic and you're walking people, that's bad. Other comics and the owners and everybody's like, mm-mm. If you're a comic that like you're a mean comic and I know that you'll walk a crowd, I'm not putting you on my stage. I don't care how cool we are. Like, nope, I'm not putting you up, bro. No, I'm not doing that bit anymore. I'm doing that. I don't care what you're doing, man. I'm not putting you up. You're not gonna walk my crowd. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. So if you want to get back at a comic, that's the way to do it. Get up and leave. Get up and leave. Maybe demand your money back or something like that. That's how you handle that. Right. But sitting around like I'm gonna cancel you because you made a joke about domestic violence, or you made a joke about people with disabilities, or you made a joke about short people or tall people or fat people or skinny people, then don't go. That's what happens in comedy shows, man. Don't go. Don't go. When I do crowd work, I talk about you. Don't go. I'm going to pick at your insecurities. All right. I'm going to put it out there for all to see, and we're going to laugh at it, bro. And if you're smart, you'll laugh at it too. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, man, it's all good because I make fun of myself. So don't go to stand-up comedy shows if your skin is that thin. Don't go. Take your money and go do something else, or go watch some woke comedy. If that's what you're into, go watch some woke comedy if you can find it. It's hard to find because they don't advertise that. Why? Because woke comedians aren't funny. They're not doing anything. They're not changing nothing. They're not challenging anything. Right? So if that's what you're looking for, go find some unfunny woke comedian and go pay them $50 and sit there and listen to them talk. Like it is what it is. That one woke comedian, I just had her name and then I lost it just a second ago. But you know, yeah, she has Netflix specials and everything. And she's just now I gotta pull it up before we go. It's driving me crazy. I gotta pull it up before we go. You know what I mean? It's just driving me crazy. Sorry, I gotta do this. Hannah Gaspy. Yeah, Hannah, I think that's her name. Hannah Gaspy. Let me see if I can see if I was right about that. It's Hannah Gaspy, I think it is. And woke comedians, bro, they just ain't funny. They're just not funny. Why did oh oh I'm like, why did all these I gotta learn how to spell. Yeah, I gotta learn how to spell. But yeah, Hannah Gaspy. That's the one that Dave Chappelle was talking about. And I tell you what, I tried to watch her Netflix special and I just couldn't get through it. I just couldn't get through it. You know, and I was like, wow, this is bad. This is this is real. Yeah, Gadsby, Hannah Gadsby is Gadsby. She is by far the worst comic I've seen in 15 years. There's some bad ones out there, and the thing is, her level of comedy is the level I would expect to find at an open mic or some bar room in the first or second comic, like the cold open or whatever. That's the skill set that I would expect at that type of event. Not someone who's selling out, concert halls. This person right here is not funny, bro. I'm talking about you can watch an hour of her comedy and it's like you barely will smile. And I'm thinking they use a laugh track. They rarely show the crowd laughing. But when she comes out, clapping, standing ovation. When she leaves, clapping, standing ovation. But they'll never cut to the audience while she's saying her jokes, while she's landing her punchlines. They'll never cut to the audience. And that tells you a lot right there. You never hear the lot like that random laugh or that person is like, oh my God. You never hear that. Right. So if you want woke comedy, go see her. Go see her. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sitting here now, like it's a YouTube, how Hannah Gadsby's high functioning autism works. She's autistic. Maybe that's why they go to see her. I don't know, but you can't tell a comic that. You can't tell me that there's an autistic comic about to come on the stage because I'm gonna have jokes, bro. I'm gonna have jokes. I mean, that's just how it works. Like you're just being mean. Like, bro, man, life is mean. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. So if you don't like stand-up comedy, if your skin is so thin and you're so easily offended, then don't go to stand-up comedy. Just that's not the place for you. Right? That's not the place for you. Don't go. Go do something else. Go drink some wine and paint a picture. You know what I mean? I don't go watch a movie, some movie that's not gonna offend you. Go somewhere else. Don't go watch comedy. Don't do it. All right. So that's it. That's your one to grow on for today. I didn't use the intro and I'm not going to use the outro. I just want to just come on real quick, talk about this Matt Rife situation. And I'll see y'all tonight. I'll be back 6 p.m. right here. I really want to know podcast. Not sure what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about The Killer, new Netflix movie I watched last night. Boy, it's like my kind of love movie, bro. My kind of love story. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about The Killer. But yeah, it's on Netflix now. I highly recommend it. It's a really good show. Good movie. It's a really good movie. It tells the story of an assassin in a way that's never been told in America. Real cool stuff, man. Real cool stuff. So check that out. Maybe we'll talk about that tonight. Maybe we'll talk about finances, what's going on. We'll see. We'll see. Wonderful 34 is in the building. What's good, fam? We're just wrapping it up. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. I'm supposed to say that every show. Please like and subscribe. Share if you want. Share if you dare. Maybe I'll start saying that. Share if you dare. So I'm about to go, man. I appreciate y'all, bro. This was fun. Matt Rife in trouble again. Why is he in trouble? Because people have thin skin. They don't like his jokes. I'm gonna watch this Netflix special tonight. I'll speak on it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to watch it before 6 o'clock if I could do it, and then I'll speak on it at tonight's show at 6 p.m. But yeah, bro, I don't. From what I've read, yeah, that wasn't even bad at all, bro. If you ask me, not bad at all. So I'm out of here. Thanks for rocking out with me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'll see y'all tonight, 6 p.m. Hopefully, if not, have a good weekend. Have a very, very safe and a very lovely Thanksgiving tomorrow. Eat good, y'all. Hope you've been making room for the food that y'all gonna be consuming. And y'all be easy. Take care. I'm DL Saint. Peace.